Hello Year 5. In today's reading lesson, I'm going to go through the Week 2 pack and we are looking at Day 1. You should all have this piece of work in front of you and feel free to take notes or annotate the text. The book we are reading today is called Horrible Histories, Pirates. We are focusing on two women, so we have Queen Tutor of the Illyrians and we have Sadie the Goat. I just want to remind you that Sadie the Goat carries on to the next page, so we will need to read a bit of the following page too. Now we're going to have a look at the text together. Horrible Histories, Pirates. People like unusual stories. The idea of women pirates is a bit odd. The word odd tells me that there aren't many stories about women pirates. There are many foul females in pirate legends. The phrase foul females suggests that they might have done something cruel or a lot of people might dislike them. The trouble is, many of them are just fibs about females. The word fibs means that there must have been many lies that have been told about these females. It shows that women must have been portrayed unfairly or negatively, especially because historically, women are generally seen as weaker than men. You need a Horrible Histories look at the true and the terrible tosh that's been talked. Can you spot the real stories from the ones that are as false as a wooden leg? Now, because it mentions real stories and false, that tells me that some of the information that we'll be reading will be true and some will not be true. We are really lucky that these days we have Global Goal 5. The aim of Global Goal 5 is to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. There's been progress over the last decades. More women are serving in Parliament and positions of leadership, and laws are being reformed to support gender equality. We're going to have a look at question 8 for this part. And this says, why is it clever that the author says as false as a wooden leg in the introduction? If we break this question down, it tells us to look in the introduction. So that's the very first part of the text. Then it tells us to look at the phrase as false as a wooden leg. I can see that as false as a wooden leg is at the bottom of the first paragraph. Now the next thing is asking us why. So this means that we have to explain. But then we need to explain why it's clever. Here we are evaluating because we are forming an opinion on why it's clever that the author has used that phrase. Now I'm thinking about how to answer this question. I know that a wooden leg is associated with a pirate and the story is about pirates. So I think it's really clever that the author has used this phrase. Also, this simile highlights that some of the information is fake, just like a wooden leg. Queen Tutor of the Illyrians. The Queen of Illyria, Albania today, reigned between 231 and 228 before Christ. She set out to attack cities in the Mediterranean. This tells me that she attacked more than one city, travelled to different places, and that she was a very brave leader. On the way, they came across some Roman traders and robbed them. Traders are people who buy and sell goods. Back then, it could be things like sugar, medicine, or wood, and these things would be very valuable. Because Tutor robbed them, it tells me that she must have become very rich. Queen Tutor liked this idea. Her ships took up piracy. Piracy means when someone attacks and robs ships. This suggests that she was a very successful leader. The Romans sent 2 messengers to warn her to stop. That upset Tutor and she had the messengers murdered. That made the Romans really mad. They invaded Illyrians and defeated her. The word invaded suggests that Tutor was no longer a successful leader. We are going to be looking at question 1, for this part of the text. The key word in the question is what. So we are retrieving the information from the text. Queen Tutor is the person who we are talking about, and we need to find out what made her upset. I can see that the word upset is in the text and it talks about tutor, and if we look a bit before that, it tells us what made her upset, and it was the Romans sent 2 messengers to warn her to stop. Remember, she loved stealing from the Romans, so telling her to stop would make her very upset. The next question we are looking at together is number 3, and that is, why did the Romans invade Illyria? With the word why, we have to provide an explanation. The key words are also invade and Illyria. I can see that the word invade is towards the end and the Illyrians. So I know that the information is somewhere around there. If we look a bit before that, we know that Tutor had the messengers murdered. The Romans were actually quite polite, so they had to take revenge or not let Tutor get away with all the horrible things that she did. So I've written the vocabulary you might need for the rest of the text. So we have messengers, that is the person who carries a message, so they might travel from place to place. Then we have a mugger, that is a person who attacks someone and steals something from them. It could be stealing of money or stealing an item. Victim, that's a person harmed, injured or killed as a result of crime, accident or an other event or action. And a thug is a violent person. I've included an optional extension task that's not included in your packs, and because in the introduction it said that some of the information is true or false, I thought it would be a great idea if we could sort the facts in the table, write down which ones do you think are true or false, and you can even explain why you think the fact is true or false. So that's the end of our reading lesson, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of your work.